AgriTech is a growing multi-billion-dollar industry. This is why HudsonAlpha Wiregrass is exploring how to make the Wiregrass the ag tech center of the U.S. News 4's Jacqueline Lambert gives us a look into why the area is being considered as an ag tech target sector.
Agriculture technology is all about improving efficiency to increase yields and sustainability and reduce cost for farmers.
Ag tech can really be a lot of different things.
Whether it be drone technology for applying fertilizer or technology for smart irrigation, it's a growing industry that HudsonAlpha believes is perfect for the Wiregrass.
Once we started having this conversation with the city of Dothan and the people across the, I'll say 11 county region here in southeast Alabama, we could see the strength of agriculture, whether it's with peanuts or with timber.
A recent report headed by the Institute found that this region has a readily available pipeline of ag-related workforce and technology development and testing at places like Fort Novosel. City leaders and those in the industry are working towards accelerating the ag tech industry here.
There was a mindset and approach by a lot of the people in community leadership roles that said we want to diversify our economy, we want to add technology, strengthen the technology work that goes on here. How do we leverage all the good things that are happening here?
While there are many steps to take, developments like the planned Wiregrass Innovation Center are expected to help.
So this isn't just 2 or 3 people working on this. This is absolutely a community and a regional play to be able to make sure that not just the economic development, but the whole picture develops appropriately for the region.
In Dothan, Jacqueline Lambert for your hometown news leader.
Recently, HudsonAlpha saw an ag tech success story of their own come to Ozark. HudsonAlpha is a startup company that repurposes waste into sustainable products for agriculture and cleaning up oil spills. The company will now operate a manufacturing site from Ozark's Technology Center Business Incubator.